This meeting is being live streamed.
Yeah, both of them. We're going live on YouTube. Let me turn it on. Okay, it's all right. All right, so we're live on YouTube. Ha. We're just gonna wait and wait, wait, which is cool. So how's everybody's day been so far?
How's everyone? I'm doing well, actually. A bit of a sore throat, but I'm doing well. I have to fix my computer for some reason. As you can see, my
it's foggy, hazy.
My camera for the last few weeks has been very hazy, and I don't know what it is. Could be my background. How are you, Patty? Peggy, you look as young as ever.
Good. What's that?
You look as young as ever.
I do. Well,
So you are young. What are you talking about?
Feeling it is different.
Mm.
Feeling is different.
Okay, so tonight we're going to go over if we have any new invites, we're going to discuss that. First we'll just go over the program. Nikki, you could give a nice quick little interview with that one, and then we'll go into handing the baton over to Miss Peggy. Here comes. And so it is.
Good evening, Randall.
I heard a fire alarm at the hospitals, but it ain't nothing. If you see me burning down, then I didn't. I'm gonna wait a while, see if it comes my way.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are
How's
you?
Everyone doing?
Nikki, that's the technician. Nikki, that's the technician.
Yes, that
Computer
is.
technician.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you say so.
But
How
you
you doing,
see,
Miss Burns?
you see her picture is hazy. How am I doing?
Yes.
I'm doing.
Okay, praise the Lord. Give thanks.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, Nikki, looks like Vandal might be able to help with your computer camera.
That's what I just mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I
Yes.
mentioned it, because I didn't know.
All that we need is in the butterfly. I keep on saying butterfly.
Fly connections, all that we need.
I call it butterfly connections family. All
Yeah,
that we
that's it.
need is therein.
All that we need is at our fingertips, as we have it here.
Why go anyplace else?
Why good? That's
Why
the
shop any
commercial.
place though? Yeah.
That's the Linda's commercial.
The Linda's or the
All
marketplace?
all that you need is here. Why go
Okay.
anyplace else?
Why
I
good?
thought that marketplace.
Okay, so are we expecting any new invites this evening?
I hope so.
not sure. We
I
will
don't know about
see.
new invites, but we'll see.
Okay.
I did invite a few people, but I don't know if they're gonna come on.
Okay, that's fine.
Hi, Miss Pam. How are you? Just quiet. Yeah, so how's everybody's day been?
Oh, busy.
Hi,
So far, so good. Busy.
evening.
Good evening, how are you?
Okay, I was just sending the ID to a few people. I don't know if they're gonna come on board.
Okay,
It's
Okay.
done. It's done.
awesome.
Okay.
Me. The people that you're bringing, Pam, do they know anything about this?
Yeah, the majority of them, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. How you doing, Pam?
I'm just great, Wendell. How are you?
Hanging in.
That's the way.
Uh,
Evening, everybody else.
Good evening.
Good evening,
Pamela.
Pamela. How are you?
Evening.
Present.
present. Me too. I'm present.
Okay, so while we're waiting for others to join, I just want to give a quick summary of the BC regulators fish fry on March 30th is actually going to be postponed. We're looking to do something for Easter and maybe as special events roll around. We're looking to focus those dinners around those events. For instance, Good Friday, we're looking at doing fish cakes and hot cross buns and stuff like that. So this fish fry, just to let you know, has been postponed for March 30th. Okay.
Okay.
All
So
right.
that means we're gonna get another flyer up for the
Well, yes, I tried to call the young lady today. I was unsuccessful, so I have to speak to you tomorrow as to what day it's going to be confirmed and held. Okay.
mhm.
All right. Also, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm just sort of trying to recollect on our last meeting. You may or may not know James, one of our members. He's looking into bringing together a community event on Court Street. So it's not written in stone how it's going to be laid out, but he is working on how it's going to be put together, another BC regulator event.
Okay, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Welcome, Joanne, Patty. All right.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to think, Renette, did we address anything in the BC regulator meeting Monday that may be pertinent for our members to know that did not get a chance to attend? I think it was a quick meeting. We just discussed the events and how they were going. And I know James came on to share that he's working in that event. We haven't had an update yet with our Jamaica family as to the April event there. So as we get that information, we'll forward it over to those that are participating in BC Regulators. Remember, if you're not a part of BC Regulators and you would like to participate in one of the events, the document is on our website, which you can fill out and send in a copy of a bill. And the next event that is up to be held, given that we have not met the quota of participants, you can be included to receive part proceeds going to a debt that you have incurred over a period of time. Okay. All right.
And that's that's a good thing for people to take advantage of, especially if
Yes.
they're in a they want to get some of their debt paid off.
Some of their debt. Mhm.
Yeah.
What is the event they have in Jamaica?
They
The
haven't
event that-
started yet.
They're working on putting it together. It will also be a dinner. Once we get information back from our Jamaica sisters, we'll forward it to the BC regulator participants in the WhatsApp group.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so let me read this text. Okay. All right, so we could just start, right? I mean, if anybody, they could fall in, because we don't want to as we're going live, we don't want to skip, too much for the live YouTube. It's less work.
We're only an hour, right?
Mhm.
We're only here for an hour.
Right. So we're just gonna introduce a new member, one of our newest members, Miss Peggy Burns. She been very busy in that community network, right? And so she's been watching some of the videos and she's like, okay, we need to get this rolling. So I'm like, okay, well, let's get it rolling. So she's willing to lead in that area. So and that's real estate flipping, right? So that we could get things and we're putting things in place now. So and you'll see another event that we're going to have will be just to explain more into the real estate flipping. So tonight we're just going to we asked her to speak a little bit so we could chat with her, interact. So we're going to interact right now.
Yes, you've made of me a real estate mogul or a tycoon, and I'm neither of which. However, for some time, I've been focusing a lot on the benefits of investing in real estate. First of all, I'd like to start by saying greetings and welcome to BC Connection family and others. My manicurist, my hairstylist, my facial makeup artist, and my herbal bath attendant all did a no-show when I needed them to prepare me for this engagement. After stressing over the matter for a little while, I soon realized that their absence was due to the fact that it was all in my mind. Thank God, dreaming is still free. With that, I was left no other choice but to do it myself. It takes a long time for me to achieve that certain look these days, and to minimize visual distraction, as I would like people to hang on to the content of my message. And so I've prepared to read, I'm going to take my raging beauty with me when I disappear from sight, but not sound. After my delivery, I shall return and we can then talk.
Okay. Like I said, it's been nice getting to know her. Go ahead, I'm ready.
I felt honored to have been extended an invitation to share with you one of my long-held ideas having to do with a specific aspect of real estate investing, which I shall reveal as I progress through my intro. I believe that there are many who've entertained the same idea, which requires funding, but like me, found themselves either out of pocket or, as the African Ghanaians would say, their money was small. They would therefore find themselves unable to satisfy that particular aim alone. Oftentimes, we need not look any further than our own backyard to satisfy our needs or wants. Since my very recent arrival at the home of Butterfly Connections, I've discovered that the mentoring and support needed to succeed in the subject area is already here. This is where we like-minded can now cast down our bucket. Follow me on an example of this, which is an excerpt from Booker T. Washington's 1895 Atlanta Compromise speech. It reads, "A ship lost at sea for many days suddenly sighted a friendly vessel. From the mast of the unfortunate vessel was seen a signal, 'Water, water, we die of thirst.' The answer from the friendly vessel at once came back, 'Cast down your bucket where you are.' A second time, the signal, water, send us water, went up from the distressed vessel and was answered, cast down your bucket where you are. A third and fourth signal for water was answered, cast down your bucket where you are. The captain of the distressed vessel, at last heeding the injunction, cast down his bucket, and it came up full of fresh, sparkling water from the mouth of the Amazon River. You see what I mean? The point I made about sometimes we find the solutions, the answers to our concerns right in our backyard, but know what we have a tendency to drift therefrom, wander afar off. Instead of remaining where we are, look and see where needs exist and fill them, that kind of thinking. Okay, this morning, my thoughts around 6 o'clock began with these doable keywords found in Philippians 4:8. Let them resonate with your spirit as I share. Finally, brethren, okay, pause here for a minute. Just for now, substitute that word brethren with butterfly connection family. I liken us unto a family. And finally, butterfly connection family, whatsoever things are true, honest, just, pure, lovely, of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Yes, what we focus on multiplies or expands. What we think about, we bring about. That which we are seeking is also seeking us. We are experiencing the evidence of those truths right this minute, in that our thought processes have brought us at this particular time and place and before each other in search of something that will provide us with a cushion of relief, whether it be in the area of our personal needs and or wants, or for others whom we hold dear to our hearts. In addition to that conversation with myself, I determined that I keep it simple and go straight to the topic, to which I attach a great deal of importance, because I can see the potential benefits derived from its success by way of collective economics. Now I'm about to do what most people do when they flip. They shout. So here goes. Flipping houses is what I'm referring to. Let's do it. Let's become successful flipsters. It's a lucrative market which is waiting for us to tap into. All we have to do is pool our monies equally into deals. And when we do, we will then become real estate financiers. Your questions? When, where, and how do we begin? My answer, right where we are. Remember the bucket incident. Right where we are, because within our Butterfly Connections family, there are those who have the expertise in this area. Renette will identify who they are, who can guide us to the place where we can turn our passions into dollars. Speaking about pooling monies, it isn't an uncommon practice with Black Bermudians. It was during the era of tremendous odds that we began on this out of necessity and for survival's sake. The habit in 1896, that was 126 years ago, 62 years outside of the curtain of emancipation for enslavement in 1834, to pool monies into what was then called the beneficial clubs. That wasn't the end of their hardships, because they soon found themselves from 1834 to 1959, a span of 125 years, steeped in the cesspool of segregation. And in spite of that, our people resorted to pooling their monies via the all too familiar gift or hand clubs up until this day. No doubt, their reasons are the same as those who lived 126 years ago. Together, we can do the same towards flipping houses. Please let me know at your earliest if you are interested, because another meeting with a key person will soon be held. And I will end by quoting the late brother, Dr. Professor Asa G. Hilliard III. He said, our culture, and truly it is our culture is the tie that binds. It is the source of our unity, strength, and power. Let's not let this opportunity go by. Many of us have already waited too long. Time is important. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot. That was very nice. Very powerful.
Yes.
Shanique, you have a question? Shanique, you have a question? Thank you, Nana Peggy.
Oh, you're most welcome.
Thank you very much, Nana Peggy, for your infectious presentation. It was wonderful to hear the enthusiasm and excitement behind the idea of us coming together in unity and working together to get this initiative started. As you said, we do have all that we need. If we hold our hands together, we'll have all that we need to make anything possible. All that is good and all that is, Butterfly Connections, as you know, is a community of givers, and the intellectual capital within the group and expertise within the group is phenomenal. It's no reason why we cannot live our dreams and leave a legacy for generations to come. And so once again, I'd like to thank you. We're going to open up for any questions. And as tonight's meeting, we will have a presentation if there's new invitees on board. But tonight's meeting is a bit different from what we usually host. But we're opening up the platform now for any questions, comments, or anything right now that you want to share.
And with that, I want to, these last few days that I've been talking to Nana Peggy, she's very much into doing things together, and that's what makes us be able to move as one and move like how everybody's expecting. Everybody's expecting to move, but we're moving at different frequencies. So moving together is what will get us to where we want to go. And I agree to help with this flipping side of the things. And the thing is, with flipping real estate, you could do it anywhere in the world. You know what I mean? It's all has the same concept. You could do it in Bermuda. You could do it in the United States. You could do it wherever you want. There's so many, the difference between a real estate investor and a real estate agent is a big, big difference. The real estate agent does not have to get no degree. They don't have to go to school for it or anything like that. All they need to do is have somebody that's going to help them, guide them through to that point, and then they could rock and roll on their own, actually. And then having the right channels to go through. And then you got to think outside the box. You got to think of certain things to get you to where you're trying to go. So I think in a few weeks, we're going to do another real introduction of it, because we're going to lead up. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing hands-on to help anybody that's really interested. So we'll stay with you. We'll be available as long as you need us, so that you could get an understanding of what you need to do to get to be successful in accomplishing whatever you want. Because that's the main thing is not, fear is cool, but don't use fear as something that's going to stop you from moving, but just take that fear and make that motivate you to get what you want. You know what I mean? So that you could be able to go from where you are now to where you want to be. And I could say that you could definitely is ways where you don't have to use your own money. It's so many ways to make it possible for you to flip successfully and be able to accomplish exactly what you're trying to accomplish. So we definitely we're going to look out for our flyer that will come up so that we'll be able to do more of an introduction as to this here. It'll be in three stages. There's going to be the stage where we're going to introduce the flipping, and then we're going to introduce the Brian. He's going to be one that's going to actually do some teaching about it, and then we'll do the hands-on. But that's going to be for people that's really, really serious about it. So, and we'll get that information to you a little bit later in the game, so that because right now we're just putting everything together, and I'm just going to wait for Nana Peggy to give us an update as to when she's going to put the word out for everybody to join her and things like that, and then set a date so that we can know what day is best to meet and move forward with this thing. So it's ready. We're ready to pop it and roll it, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a different experience than things that you've ever experienced. You're going to see a lot of opportunities that you would not have seen before. That's the sweetness of it. And you'll be surprised at the things that you're going to be saying. If you like to help people, this is it, because you're going to be able to reach out and help people, and because they're looking for somebody to help them. So, and that's one of the things about real estate investing, is a big difference between real estate agent, so it's going to be great. It's going to be really, really great. So any questions, anybody, before we rock and roll?
How many hands up? How many hands went up tonight in favor of this idea?
Mine. I'm in favor.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody's, don't be quiet and shy, everybody. I know I've been talking to a good bit of people in here, and they're very, very interested. So we're ready to rock and roll. Like I said, Butterfly Connections, once we understand what we're, really about, because most people are coming from past experiences and they're like, oh, I had this experience in the past. Well, we're now in the present, and taking us into the present is so we're now in the present. So the present means that whatever happened in the past, we leave it in the past, and we stay in the present, and we're looking to the future. We are there, we are here, and we're not moving. We're steadfast. We got a lot of them. So reach out to others that you don't see in the chat that are in the group. You know what I mean? Let them know that, hey, Butterfly Connections is still up and running. We're still doing the same things. We're still, so join so that you could get updated on the information. So it usually comes like, just let those other ones know to join the meeting, because they're going to hear about it soon, and they're going to be like, well, why didn't I know about it? So that's where we're going to take it. Like, I don't know if you're going to put it in different stages, Nana, or whatever. So that we could,
Stages such as?
well, because if
all I do is put my contact information out there. And people who declare their interest are welcome to reach out to me. That's all.
Exactly. So put your shoes on and tie up your laces, because we're ready to take you guys to, and that's what we're about. You know what I mean? That's exactly what we're about. And I want to thank her for actually pushing it. You know what I mean? Because we've been had this here for a while, but she's stepped up and wanted to do that, and we more than definitely welcome somebody to taking control of that, and it's definitely a blessing. Anybody else? Nope.
No.
All right, but don't be shy now. Don't be shy, because whenever we have our next thing, you definitely got to, if you're ready for it, you got to interact, because you got, so that you can know how to
Yes.
go forward with making sure that you're successful. And like I said, you could do this or anywhere in the world. You could do it in Jamaica, you could do it in England, you could do it in Africa. It doesn't matter where you are, as long as you have the ability, will to make it happen. It could happen.
So question, so will be trained for this? You have to invest in this? How do you get started?
Well, right now we're going to just discuss it mainly, and we're going to go through the stages of what's needed, the different things that you could do to what we're concentrating on flipping, but we're going to show you the array of everything, you know what I mean? Because there's so many other things that are out there. So it's definitely, you need to invest your time, right? So when there is a time for it to be done, we're going to make sure it's a decent time for everybody to be in the Zoom, because time is very special. So if you miss something, be responsible. You know what I mean? Time is precious. So if you're coming, make sure if we say that it's this time, be at that time, because we want to rock and roll. Like when we have Mr. Teal on, Brian, right? We'll call him Brian. When we have him on, his time is very limited. So he's got to he's going to be leaving his business to actually come here to actually do it, right? So that means that he's not got the time to keep coming and going. So when he comes, we got to make sure that if you're coming into that, you need to be, you made up your mind that you want to go that far. You know what I mean? So
So that'll be on this Wednesday, or you have another night for that? We haven't decided.
but we're going to wait for Nana Peggy to let us know when she gets information from everybody, and then she'll set a date for the first phase of it. The first phase is going to be explaining a little bit of where we're going, and then the second phase will be when he introduces these different things about what could do, and then the third phase is when we do hands-on, and we're available to contact so that we could let you know which way to go and how to help you, that type of stuff.
So once it's all collaborated and brought together, what we'll do is make sure that I want you to remember to just keep abreast of what happens in Mighty Networks, because that is the hub in which you can, or the source of all information for Butterfly Connection. So as the program is put together and rolled out to the community, you can find out all the information that you need in that platform or in the Zoom meetings. But I'm just saying, in the event that you miss the Zoom meetings, as Renette said, the responsibility is on yourselves to make sure that you keep abreast of what's going on, because all the information that you need to know is in Mighty Networks at your disposal for all subjects of all subjects pertaining to Butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be recorded as well, or those will be non-recordings, or we're not sure yet.
We're not sure yet. We're just
all right.
We're just getting a feel for who is interested. I know so that we could go forward. We're actually going to be extending it to people that are not part of Butterfly Connections. Okay, so just so you all know. So and when we do the live one with Brian, that's only going to be limited to 100 people. So get your ability to get into that as soon as possible, and make sure that you get in really on time so that you don't miss that one.
And you can RSVP in Mighty Networks in the once you put it up. I see that the RSVP, use those buttons, because I know it gives us an idea of how many people you will be expecting per session. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So once we get that up and rolling, we're going to, and I like I said, I want to thank her again for just being so sweet.
You know what they say about an idea, you put forth an idea, you earn it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well,
But I think it was an idea whose time has come, you know, because
yes.
I had shared it with a couple of other people some time ago. And of course, nothing ever came of it. And so here, BC appeared on my radar, and I was cast to the wolves. You know,
Well, you know,
I was
many
told I
hands
had to
make
hit the
light
ground
work.
running. And so when Renette shared with me her experience as a real estate dealer or whatever, that sort of fired my interest even more. And I say there's no time to sleep. And so I would venture to give people a deadline when they should respond.
Yeah.
What is a fair time? A week, 2 weeks?
About
I
a week.
think
About
a
a
week
I think,
is sufficient.
yeah, I think for the first one, give it a week because like his checking right now to see what time is available. And once he knows, then we'll be in a better space as to going forward.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
With that said, when will we start?
I think she's gonna give a week for when people want to sign
Declare
up.
their interest.
Yeah.
Yes. Because you can't keep on prolonging something, you know, because a lot of times when you do, procrastination is the thief of time. When you do, very often nothing happens.
Mhm.
And I've
So that's
seen
what I was
that.
asking.
I've seen,
When will that
pardon?
registration start? That's what I was asking. You set a starting date for that yet? Or it's pending?
What's that?
We're
I was
working on getting everybody that's interested. She's gonna post soon, very soon, maybe today or tomorrow, for people that are interested to reach out to her that way. And then from that, we'll have a date as to when we're gonna do the first introduction to it and things along that line. And then we'll know more about when Brian's available to do his presentation. And more than likely, I'll be doing the presentation with him. And we'll go from there. So we're right now going to reach out to find out who is interested.
Thank you for the clarification.
So we'll get that posted as soon as possible. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, then. That was any more questions? No. All right. Nicole?
No. I think everything was addressed. So now, Peggy, once we get your information out there, we'll put a date range out there as to when to respond if you're interested. And then we'll confirm when the presentations will roll out to the individuals to sign up.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a question. How long is the study? How many sessions? About?
It just depends. I know the first two, we're gonna try to get it within a month. And then after that,
Okay.
it also depends on how people are progressing with putting in an effort to move, because this is going to take you to a different mindset. So it's completely different from how we were doing things before, so you're going to put the fire under you to open up your mindset to different ideas of getting to where you live.
Okay,
Yeah, so that's going to take a while.
so it's about growth.
And
It
just
is
remember,
about growth.
and remember, real estate is not a overnight situation. It does take a little process. So everything takes a process, because even if you're looking for the house, the exact house, that takes a process. So it's all closing takes a while. You know what I mean? So there's a whole lot of things that you gotta make sure you're in the right mindset to take this venture on. It's not, so you gotta be ready for it.
Let's
Gotcha.
just say no games will be played, Randall.
Mhm.
In it to win it, or don't get in it.
That's
Now,
right. That's what I
you'll-
say.
All right, Nicole. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
In
You'll
it
be
to
able
win
to
it.
see, you'll be able to see who's serious and who isn't by the end of the closing date of the sale. By the time the sale closes, we'll know who wants to stick into it. But it's not like it's really rocket science, you know what I mean? It
Mhm.
really isn't.
Yeah, I watch those.
Coming from the expert.
I watch those house upgrades on television. Flip for flop,
Yeah.
or fixer upper, or what have you. And I say, those white folks, they have it sewn up, and here we are sitting by. We've got in Bermuda, at least, at 2019, there were 46 vacant government-owned properties island-wide. That could have easily been, and I shared the listing with various individuals, thinking that perhaps they would have jumped on board and sort of submitted some sort of proposal to government with regards to, or with a view to upgrading those buildings, and thereby
Upgrade and
making
refurbished.
for themselves, you see. But it never materialized. I'm an organizer, but when it comes to galvanizing people, it's really not my forte.
Right.
And so I would imagine since 2019, there are probably additional buildings that have been added to that list, you see? But I don't find that, people speak about ideas and so on, but understand ideas won't keep. You have to do something about them.
Right.
Like I remember I quoted you, Swami Vivekananda, and how he said, take up one idea, make that one idea your life. Think on it, dream of it, live on idea, let the brain, muscles, nerves, every part of your body be full of that idea, and just leave every other idea alone. This is the way to success. And I think when Bermudians see the success of others who've invested in flipping real estate, I think that's when the fire of enthusiasm is going to, turn into an inferno.
Yeah.
And then be difficult to, to put out, to extinguish.
And just so you know that when I started real estate investing, I was living in Bermuda. And so I didn't have my green card or anything yet. So it is possible for Bermudians to invest in the United States. Big time.
Yes.
You just got to look real deep and don't give up.
What about those properties that are repossessed by the banks in the US? How are they? Are they sold at the value that is owed on the property? It
depends. It just depends.
Let me tell you a story. I went I went to visit aunt in Philadelphia, and she was saying, "Oh, Nick, could you imagine the house next to me? I didn't even know that it was for sale. I guess it must have been foreclosed, right? And she didn't know about it. And so she was just talking about her new neighbors and something like that. So anyway, her new neighbors that moved in had got this house that I guess was foreclosed for something ridiculous, like maybe $4,000, $5,000, because that was what was owed on the mortgage.
Mm. There's so many things that you could do. I mean, like I said, we'll get into it all a little bit later, but I'm gonna throw
Yeah.
the theory in
Mm.
with this guy was living in this, sort of like a rundown house neighborhood, but not really. And he said the house next to him was all broke down and falling apart. And these Mexicans came in this one truck, right? They came in this one truck, and about 10 of them, right, came in this one truck, and he's like, oh, how come where you going to this house? Says, oh, we just bought this house, we're gonna fix it and put it together.
You
He
see?
said, okay, because this is an old house, and all of them got out, right?
Mhm.
And he said by the time he woke up in the morning, that house was brand new. And he was crying. It's like, I can't believe it. Why we can't work together? I mean, they all jumped out of this thing, and he says, I'm going to get to know them because they work together and we don't work together.
Well, it
And
used to be back in the day, remember?
used to
We
be,
built
yeah.
each other's homes and so on. Those are the stories that were told me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, and like Madam C.J. Walker said, the first African-American millionaire businesswoman said, we need to go back to the
We
best
do.
and greatness of our past.
Yes.
We need to go back, and so we need to go back and in so many different ways. Also, not to, our past is valuable, and we forget what we just something simple as kindness, and
Yeah.
gratitude and charity and all of that. It's important that we remember, because something very simple happened to me yesterday. I went next door and I said, oh, I had to borrow an item that I was cooking. And so I came back in and my cousin was here, and she said, where did you go? I said, I went next door to go and get some soy sauce or whatever. And she says, people still do that?
Mhm.
I said, yes, people still do that. And then it made me think, like, she's right, because I haven't had a neighbor come to my house for a very long time to say, do you have, or can I have this, or can I borrow this? And my door is always open, but I just don't see that often. And I'm saying people just close their doors and don't worry about what happens outside those doors.
Yeah, I think what would help to build confidence in newcomers or novices, such as myself, to the real estate world or the real estate market is if it's made clear on the part or the role that each person can play.
Yes.
That's why I mentioned, like, I focus a lot on financing because, and that's why I drew the illustration of our hand and gift clubs. We know how to cut corners when corners no longer exist. I came through the layaway era, where as a child, my mother took me to Lyons Brothers. And this was the household department. And of course, back in the day, children were seen and not heard. So you just kept quiet. You knew your place.
Yep.
And my mother would take my sister up the stairs. And then I would see her hand money to a white lady behind the counter. Well, first my mother would go and gather the items that she was interested in, like curtains and bedspreads and so on. And the lady would put them on the counter. And then I would see my mother give her money, but yet my mother would walk away from the counter
Without her items.
And it was only until I got older and was able to figure out for myself what actually was going on. That was the system of the day, That's how Black people managed to acquire what they had. My mother said to me, Peggy, what you say, make do for the time being with what you have. In other words, you can do better, just make do, be satisfied, be content. The other thing she used to say to me is look and see what needs doing and do it. You see, my mother used to speak to me in almost like in parables, but I got it.
Right.
And I remember Arthur George Gaston. He died at 103. He died and he was worth $130 million. Now, his father died when he was quite young. He went to live with his grandmother, pardon me. His mother went off to work for some Jewish people. And so Arthur stayed behind to live with his grandmother. Then she passed, and then, of course, he and his mother were reunited. Now, when his mother, on her dying bed, summoned him at her bedside, you know what she said to him? You don't have to be poor. He was penniless. He was penniless, but yet he ended up worth $130 million at 103. He owned a construction company. He also coined the word, look for needs and fill them.
Fill them, yes.
Similar to what my mother said, same meaning, but different words. Look for needs and fill them. And did he fill them? He worked at a coal mine and he used to make sandwiches. So everything he did, he had a price on it. He sold sandwiches to the coal miners. Then he discovered that because some coal miners lost their lives because of the nature of the work. And at the time of their death, their wives were wringing their hands, trying to figure out how they're going to pay for their funeral and whatever else had to go with it, right? So guess what? He thought of an insurance company. Gaston created a construction company, insurance company, and a financial institution. And what was the other one? A funeral home. You see it?
Yeah. But that's a business that
Madam
never moved
C.J.
out of-
Walker, she started her business, built an empire. She was worth I think it's worth today, something like $8 million. She died a young woman in her 50s. She started off with $1.50. Then you've got Mary Jane McLeod Bethune, Bethune and Cookman College. I think she has something like 17 or 19 buildings. She started off with $1.50, had to walk 5 miles to school and back home. The only one in her family that was educated. See, these things inspire me. And and that was during the time of when their life was just, they were steeped in the most violent form of social ills. The lynching and all that kind of thing. These people suffered.
Wow.
So if one person can do it, surely more than one can do better.
Yeah.
You see? And so I think what's going to be uppermost in our people's minds as they come to the table is like, gosh, what's it going to cost? But understand that you don't have to do it by yourself. We are here for each other.
Exactly.
That's why I spoke about pooling our resources equally. You see? I recognize that there are a few dollars in individual hands, but collectively, there's abundance. That's why I spoke about the importance of collective economics.
Well, that is a concept that most of us still don't know.
Well, they can learn. Each one teach one, each one reach one. That's our responsibility. I recognize also that many of us are unconscious. Kwame Ture, Stokely Carmichael said, it's incumbent on the conscious to awaken the unconscious. And in our community, in our world, we have two types of people, spectators or participants. You see? And so
most people are spectators.
Yeah, well, we can't allow that to sabotage our efforts of growing and contributing.
But they have to be taught. They have to be taught.
Well, then there has to be a willingness too. Some people, if they don't want to be taught, they're not open to learning, then that's it.
Right.
But you have to keep on moving. Not everybody is going to receive your messages.
Absolutely.
See? And
you do.
But the thing of it is, always have the spirit where you want to bring our people along, so that nobody gets left behind. But given the situation of socialization, a lot of people will not receive your hand. You know, they're not looking for someone to lift them up, to bring them along. Remember I showed you the description about those children that the anthropologists used about the basket of fruit? That's what I love. I love that model, where a basket of fruit was placed at the bottom of a tree, at the foot of a tree. And all the children were told, whoever gets there first, they can claim the whole basket. But look at the children, look at the message, look at the lesson that we learned from children. They held hands and together
went
they
together.
ran. You see
That's
the power of unity? There's strength in numbers. There's also security and safety in numbers. People, we gotta stop sleeping, wake up. It's already late.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's George Fraser, or was it yeah, it was George Fraser said that what we have, the only frontier open to Black folk is money, is economics. George Fraser, Fraser-Net, entrepreneur, author, lecturer, said the only frontier left to Black folks is economics. Everybody else is going to pass us, you know, leave us behind. I mean, our history has taught us that we've always had to fend for ourselves, you know.
Yeah.
No one has been there for us. No one has come to our aid. No one has come to rescue us.
Yeah.
No.
You see?
And the system has been designed for us to fail.
Absolutely.
And we can't, we have to make, and you know, as you said, it takes a team. It takes teamwork, and it takes unity, and it takes continuous effort to unify ourselves.
Yeah, sometimes, but if you can't rally the interest, you can't rally the human support, then of course you mustn't stop. You must continue going. Like those three persons that I cited. They continued against tremendous odds, and look what they amount to. Look at the legacy they left behind.
Yes. Yeah.
Recognizing what your purpose is in life and seeking to satisfy that end, you know, makes all of that well worth it. You're always going to be beset with challenges, you know, and it's been said that if you're not in a problem, you're probably coming out of one, or you're heading toward one. That's life.
That's true.
You know? That's life. And like Mike Tyson said, life hurts.
That's true. Problems are always around. It's how we get through
but
them.
they say problems are nothing more than uniquely disguised opportunities. Problems are also solutions dressed up in work clothes.
Yes.
You see, look for a need and fill it. Peggy, look and see what needs doing and do it. They had our seniors, our ancestors had the answers. You see, and unless we continue articulating that, then of course, those who that are coming up will not get the messages. You know, we have to pass that information on to others. We have to build the new on the old. In other words, the wisdom of the aged. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Okay. So, are there any more comments
I just want to thank you for that. That was very inspiring and powerful and motivating.
Yeah. Like it's been said that we have all the tools that we need.
Right here.
Everything we need, we have. Nothing is missing in terms of the tools that we need to get the work done. What is missing is that we don't have each other.
Man, that's true.
Yeah.
But,
Very true.
Okay,
Absolutely.
can I just make a comment?
Yes.
Okay, just to tie in with what Donna Peggy just said. A while back, I bought this little book to the attention of Renita. It's called The Go-Giver. And I would advise everybody in the group to read it. I'm about 99% sure that everybody who reads this little book will get something from it that will help them to not only contribute to this group, but to themselves
mhm.
and others, because that's what it's really about.
What's the title of it? The
It's
Go
called
Giver?
the Go-Giver. I'll send it to you, Nana Peg.
Go Giver.
The
Okay.
Go-Giver. It's 140 pages. And
Uh-huh.
I mean, I
Who's
read
the
a lot of
author?
What's that?
Who's the author?
I don't even remember offhand, but
I could probably check the internet.
well,
Yeah,
I've got it. I can send it to you.
Send it to me too, Randall, please.
Okay. What's that?
I said,
We can put a
send it-
picture. You can put a picture of it in Mighty Networks.
and
Okay.
Send it to,
Well,
send it to me too.
you know something? I haven't even been on there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give it to one of you two. You can put it there. But I got to get familiar with Mighty Network, so I will make sure I do that this week. Before this week is out. What's the day? Thursday. Wow. Okay. Before the
Today's
weekend.
Wednesday,
Yes. Okay.
23rd.
You
Right.
promise, Randall?
Yes, I promise.
Send me
No.
info too, Randall.
I was a part of another group similar to this, and this was required reading for this group, and I read it, and a lot of the philosophies that were in there, I had already adhered to and already doing, but it kind of fits in with the theme of butterfly connection, and it shows you how through helping others you can actually help yourself.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reciprocity.
And there are many people that have become extremely rich by just doing that.
Exactly.
So it's for me. I'm not, I have to admit, I'm not one that would sit down and read a novel, but I read that and it didn't take me that long. It took me some days. I'm sure for others they could probably inhale it in a night, maybe. I don't know. But I don't think I would say this, that I don't think it's anybody here that would read this and not get something from it. And
I'll skip a couple of meals and devour the book. Yeah.
You hear yourself now, and what would be great is at some point maybe in the future we could have a group sit down and just talk about some of the things we see in there, because I think it will help all of us, not just a little bit, greatly.
Yeah.
So then I would have it. All right, I could send it to anybody.
I read it when he sent it to me.
So
What did you think about it?
Randall,
Yes,
did you send me the info in the book as well?
I'll send it to you right after the meeting. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Ms. Riddell, what did you think about it?
It's about making sure, because like most people think of themselves and that's sort of like a block. You know what I mean? But when you open up and think of others and try to share, and everybody goes, you may have different goals, but everybody together could get to each other's goals. You know what I mean? So
That's what team is. Together, everyone achieves more.
mhm,
Team. Together, everyone achieves more.
right. Exactly. And that's a little thing for you to put in your thing. That'd be awesome. But yeah, it's definitely a read. I haven't posted it into Mighty Networks because somebody was supposed to be signing up and putting it in, but they're gonna do it this weekend.
Be here yourself.
I like that.
I know. You better be nice to me. I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy.
They're
Yeah,
Over
but
there, you so kindly mentioned what I was going to about procrastination, but I said no, let's not go there. Let's just give him another weekend.
But his
No. You gotta wait for me to do it.
He's got a couple of days home now, so he's got.
I'm gonna call you, Randall, too. I'm gonna call you.
You can call me.
I'm gonna call you tomorrow.
Okay, you call me.
Good,
Listen,
because
he's
I'm gonna
got
call you
time
tomorrow.
now.
It
He's got a lot of,
takes 5
he has a
seconds.
Hey,
lot of
hey,
time
you,
now.
look, let me show you something. Here, look, let me show you something. I'm in home. Hold on.
2
I'm
days.
in home working. See my books. So I'm in home here working. So
But he didn't.
I'm still working.
On that notepad, could you put in there like Mighty Networks?
Yes, ma'am. I'll call you
That
tomorrow.
1A. That's 1A.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right, I'll do that. I'll do that.
Mhm.
You could
Okay.
put it on
it's,
your wife's. You could put on your wife's lips or her
Who?
forehead.
My wife? What wife? Hey, my wife. Yo, I
The
don't see
wife
no
that,
wife around
the
here.
wife that the wife you have. You don't have a wife?
I don't see none here. Not
You
yet.
better put it on. You better put it on your computer screen.
His computers are
I'll
his
put
wife.
it. I'll put
Yeah, that's what his wife is.
His
it.
computers.
There you go.
Give him
There
a
you go. You
sticky
should.
note. One
When
But,
sticky
people
but
come
note.
wait
here,
a minute, wait a minute. You
they
guys are
think
saying that
there's a radio
Vandal's not
station in
signed up
here.
yet?
What's that?
Am I hearing right? That's saying Vandal's not signed up into connected to the Butterfly.
No, he's talking about just Mighty Networks.
Mighty
I'm talking about
Networks.
Mighty Network. You're not signed up, Vandal?
I joined up and all that. I just haven't spent any time in it.
Pam
Oh,
is this
Vandal,
I
weekend.
think-
This
Vandal,
weekend.
Vandal,
Yeah.
Vandal. Pam is not just signed up. I'm subscribed to YouTube. I'm done all of that. Come
That's
on now.
it.
Okay. All right.
That's
Well,
it.
I'll make sure I do it, but I'll make sure I
you
do it by this weekend. Okay. I'll make sure
You
I do
got
it by this
24
weekend.
hours
I'll
before we
remind
give
you.
you the boot.
Pressure's on. The pressure is on, Randall.
Come on, look, I'm the
Okay.
only guy here. You want to put all this pressure on me?
Let me
Come
see.
on, ladies. Be
We
nice.
want our muscles working.
You
Oh,
need
yeah?
to bring your brothers with you next meeting.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, come on.
that's a chore, but anyway, I'll try. I'll try.
When
What
he's
else was I gonna say? Huh?
okay, so yeah, bring some brothers in.
Okay. All right. I hear you.
All right. So how long is it?
Okay, well, that's
10 minutes.
sweet. So we're going to if we're done, then this has been very
Productive.
informative, and like I like the energy that's bouncing off, you know. So I'm ready to rock and roll. If anybody else is, let's do this.
Let's do this. Thank you
Let's do
again,
it.
Nana,
Let's take-
Peggy,
Let's
for
take
coming
things
on.
to another level.
You know
Okay,
something?
so-
I'm gonna give you all something to think about,
Okay.
and it's not maybe the best thought,
Mhm.
and it'll show us we're there are definitely some things wrong. If we were living back in the days of slavery as we as Black people are now, um, I think that we might have stayed another couple hundred years in slavery. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I shouldn't say that. But
Not me.
from what I understand, it took a lot of
I would have been a
cooperation.
Harriet Tubman.
Right. It took a lot of cooperation and a lot of collaboration. And one thing I also have to always remind people, right? Even though we don't want to think about it sometimes, especially Nana Peggy, that
Shirley Bassey.
there were some whites that also helped the Blacks. Some whites.
Mhm.
But they had the will to be free. A lot of us as Black people today, we can't see past our nose. I don't know. That's
We're
my
free,
opinion.
but not mentally.
No, we're not. Like it's like what Bob Marley says. You know, we're still in. Our bodies are free, but we're still in mental slavery.
Mhm. Emancipate
Because
yourself
we
from mental
don't flex the
slavery.
muscle we have. We serve other nations more than we serve ourselves.
Mhm.
We have more confidence in other nations more than we have ourselves. So we got to change that.
We do. We
We
trust
gotta become,
anyone.
we gotta become go-givers.
We trust anyone. We trust anyone that doesn't look like us. And that's only because that's how we're being conditioned. But
Well,
as Nanny, I think Nana Peggy said, or someone had mentioned, you have to stop blaming, or you have to be accountable after a while and responsible enough to want to leave that legacy and take ownership of who you are, where you are, and where you want to go. Because if we keep blaming someone else for our faults, then how are we ourselves going to grow?
that's
We
true.
have to be able to move forward, and as Nana Peggy said, or in our previous meetings, it's gonna take teamwork. Teamworks make dream works. Many hands make light work.
That's true.
You know, no
Well
matter how
said.
big the dream is, you know, I
It's
think someone said
achievable. It's achievable.
anything's
You see their
achievable.
possibilities. You see?
When we talk in numbers, when we're if you
Don't start me
put
preaching.
Don't
Don't
we're
start me
talking about
preaching.
1,000 people in my house, that's too many people, but 1,000 people at national stadiums, it cannot be full. So we have to make sure that we have the capacity, and we make the capacity for those that want to come, because I have a feeling that the trajectory of Butterfly Connections, as I often say, is about to change. And when we brought forward this initiative and vision, we had no idea who was coming along on the journey. Many are called and few are chosen, right? And those that start will not be the first will be the last, and the last will be the first, however that goes, and I have a strong belief that when you are working and operating in God's purpose and your purpose, he brings people together that will get the job done. So lots of times you have to stand firm and just show up and be the voice, but the baton can be held by anybody, because we're here to create leaders. And Nana Peck, I want to thank you again for coming in this evening, because as you said, you're a great organizer, but a lot of people in the group are great behind the scene people. And so this is where you get your teamwork, because we can do, as you said, we can do anything.
Yeah.
Before we had these first presentations, I'm a people's person, but I'm not a presenter. And when we had brought Butterfly Connections to Bermuda, I didn't know exactly how to do it. I just started to have the presentations, and this is what I found out. And then Renette's been on board, and we're together like iron sharpens iron, because when a lot of times our community are sleeping, Renette and I are up talking to our administrators and just brainstorming. And we're now like, I'm the right arm, she's the left, and we're here we cannot do it all. We need the commitment of the community and the committees that are going to be put in place.
That will come about when there's a shared vision, when everybody has a shared vision,
Yes. And not to mention, and I don't want to forget, we've met people in this group that we wouldn't have dreamed. Like, for instance, our Jamaica family, we're all like family. Bermuda, as each time we have a meeting and we brainstorm, anyone's idea is not taken for granted. We're here to iron out wrinkles and move those obstacles and keep pushing forward. And I've seen it, and it's a humbling experience to be a part of such a magnificent community. Really. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
That was
all
sweet,
right.
So thanks.
Thanks, Patty. See the note
Okay.
from Patty?
Randall, you need to go get something.
Huh? What's that?
You sound like you need to get a little something for your throat.
Something's going around, because I have a stretchy throat too. You mentioned that too, didn't you, Nikki?
Yes.
Something going on in Bermuda again, I guess.
Yeah.
It's pollen time.
Yeah, there you go, right
Oh.
there.
Yeah, I just needed a little water. So see, let me show you. I got my glass of water here. See?
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Hey, it's either water or vodka, one of the two. I'm not sure.
You don't even drink. I know you don't drink.
What?
Okay, everybody.
I
That's
don't even know if he doesn't drink.
Okay.
so we're
You
gonna
know,
Wait,
now.
Who's that other person in there?
Who's the other person?
Oh, I know who it is now.
You have to come in your name, because you almost got them booted out
I
the
know
Zoom.
it's got Ani Jean there.
That's what
It
it said?
wouldn't,
I didn't see that. Because I know
it
who Arnie
wouldn't let
Jean
me
is.
do it. I keep going up to it and it's not allowing me for some
That's
reason.
fine. That's fine.
I don't see Arnie Jean.
I know it's just, for me, I see
What
Arnie
are
Jean,
you,
but when I
cats?
go back,
Are you cats?
in, beg pardon?
She's
Are you
cats, and
cats?
it sounds like she's butterfly connections.
Just butterfly connections.
Okay, all right. Well,
But I'm
I'll
not
help you.
supposed to be on
I'll
that
help you
one?
get Hippolyte. I'll help you get that straight. Okay.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, not a problem.
Okay. All right. So,
Okay.
Renette, you ready to close out and thank
Mhm. I want to thank everybody for coming and be safe, everybody.
Yes, same here.
Thank you all for
Alright.
coming, and those that are watching live, we are inviting you to be a part of our community. We have our Zoom meetings on Wednesdays, and get back to the person that invited you or send a message if you would like the Zoom information. Butterfly Connections, we're here to change people's lives one family at a time. Have a blessed evening and thanks again.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Good night, all.
Everybody.